So what do we got here? Salvador Dalí.
Yes, sir. Original, signed by Salvador Dalí himself.
Okay. He was an uber famous artist, literally grew his mustache out and waxed it all the way out to like here, you know, and made big curls with it, dressed really, really super weird. He was a freak.
Right? Yeah, no. In the original paperwork when I purchased it, it was a piece that was owned by one of Salvador Dalí's friends himself. I'm hoping to get $8,000. I would probably take somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000 or $4,000 for the painting.
It's cool. You know anything about it?
It's an original signed by Salvador Dalí. I think it's the Divine Comedy series.
Do you know what the Divine Comedy's about?
Not a lot.
Basically, it's Dante's march through heaven, hell, and purgatory. So everyone's heard of Dante's Inferno, okay?
Right.
That was part of the Divine Comedy. There was the Inferno, which was hell, and then there was Paradiso, paradise, and then there was purgatory. Okay. And so I'm assuming, since this looks like an angel, this is like the heaven part. Salvador Dalí is the most famous surrealist to ever live. He's really known for his melting clocks, and some of his pieces have gone for millions. If you collect art, this is one of the things you should have. You might have to take a better look.
Yeah.
Literally, you have an angel sticking her finger in the mouth of a rhinoceros?
Looks like to me.
To me, it's really weird that we have his autograph in red. Generally, when you sign like a lithograph or a woodblock print, something like this, it's done in pencil. So, how much are you looking to get out of it?
You know, something you can make a few dollars, maybe 8,000.
Tell you the truth, sounds awfully high.
Really?
It does. But I would love to buy it. Let me have someone take a look at it. Let's make sure everything is legit, and figure out a price, okay?
Okay, all righty. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. He said the signature was red, and that raised a red flag for him. So I'm kind of a little anxious, because, if I paid that kind of money for this and it's not real, I'm really going to be upset.
This is what you called me down here.
Yes.
Okay.
Salvador Dalí, obviously from the Divine Comedy.
Okay. Mind if I take a closer look here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting period for Dalí. This was a series that was originally commissioned by the Italian government for Dalí to do the illustrations for Dante's Divine Comedy. And he worked on it for years. He did an individual watercolor for each canto, each verse of the poem. And I think he did 100 total, 99 for the verses, and then one that was intended to be a cover of the book. But word got out to the public that this Spanish irreverent surrealist was doing the illustrations to one of the most revered, poets of all times in Italy, and they had a riot. So the Italian government relented. They ended up not finishing the commissions. But Dalí, had already invested a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort. So the book ended up being published in France, and the Italians kind of lost out. By the subject matter, it looks to me like this would be from Paradise, which was the last part of the trilogy, if you will. I'm sure the French publisher was amazed that something like that would fall into his lap, because at the time, France was the epicenter of surrealism, and Dalí was the biggest name going. So to actually have something like this fall into their lap, I'm sure they were over the moon. And Rick, you had me down here. I'm sure you had some specific questions.
Okay, yeah,
about
a million and one things.
Okay.
All right, okay. I think it looks like a woodblock print. I don't know if it's hand embellished or not, or this is part of the printing process. If it is hand embellished, who did the hand embellishing?
Right.
Why is the signature in red? And is it really his signature?
Okay. It looks like I'm going to be busy. I got my work cut out for me. Now, do you mind if I take a quick look at this under a magnifying glass?
Be my guest.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. What exactly are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking just to verify the media.
Okay.
And I also want to take a closer look at the signature, too, just for authenticity.
Right.
The signature, based on what I know of this edition, he did sign a lot of prints in red. I think the signature's legitimate. It very much looks like an original watercolor. I mean, you can see the spread of the inks, but I don't think it's hand done by Dalí. It's a nicely done print. It's from wood blocks.
So what do you think it's worth?
I think you're probably looking at about a $2,000 piece to an astute collector, somebody that knew what they were doing.
Wow.
They're really not all that rare. I mean, they were published in large quantities, and they were published at different times. I think there were 2 French editions, and then later there was a subsequent German edition. And so they're out there in the thousands.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Rick. Yeah, always a pleasure. I'm sorry. Thanks, guys.
I'm a little bit shocked. $2,000? Are you serious? You know, I thought it would at least garner $4,000.
I know it's a far cry from 8,500, but I'm going by what he's saying. I
That's
expect to
what
get $2,000 out of it, okay? And the other thing is it's art. It sits around a long time. I'll give you $1,200 for it.
Can you do 1850?
No. I have to resell it. I have to pay commissions. I got to pay rent. But if you take $1,200, I'll give you $1,200.
1,200, throw in, you got any old hotel ashtrays or anything from one of the old?
No. Tell you what, I won't give you an ashtray, but I'll give you $1,250. Got a deal?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, leave it right here. Let's go up front. We'll write it up. I love it when I can buy pieces of art by famous artists like Dalí for the shop. It's not an original painting by Dalí, but I can still get a lot of money for it. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
And what do we have here?
It is a Lewis Carroll, Salvador Dalí, Alice in Wonderland book.
What a perfect combination.
Right? I came to the pawn shop to try and see what I can get for a Salvador Dalí Alice in Wonderland book. I want to sell the book today because it's just something that we've been sitting on, and I'm hoping to get bare minimum $10,000 out of this book.
These were really popular back then. This was a way you could buy a lot of artwork. If you wanted to, you could frame the entire book almost.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Salvador Dalí do weird stuff like this all the time?
This is the way he saw things. He was original at. You've seen Picasso's that are really weird. You go, I could do that myself. Okay, but the thing was, Picasso was the first one to come up with that style. This is
His style.
This was his style. He was the first one to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And to be art, it must move you. And it does. Salvador Dalí was a Spanish artist who was just as famous for being pretty damn strange as he was for being an artist. His art can be very collectible, but it can also be found in just about every dorm room in the country. He's the one who became famous for the painting of the melted clocks. Pretty cool for something done in the 1930s. This entire series was one etching, and then there was heliographs. An etching is when they take a copper plate, they take a pen with like a needle on the end of it, and they scratch into it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you can tell it's an etching.
Mm-hmm.
See this around here? It was pressed into swelled paper that was wet.
Very cool.
Okay? And back in the day, people didn't want lithographs or anything. They only wanted etchings, because an etching is done by the artist's hand as a lithograph, someone transferred it.
Gotcha.
These are heliographs. You ever seen a newspaper where it's all little teeny little dots?
Right.
Heliographs is more or less the same process, except it's a lot weirder and a lot more complex.
Hey.
I really like this book. I already have some options on how I can resell it. I can sell it as a whole, or I can piece it out. Either way, I can make money, as long as I get it for the right price. What were you looking to do with them?
Sell it.
Do you have any idea what you're trying to get?
Hoping for $10,000.
Okay. It's a really neat set.
That's what I thought.
But I'll be honest with you. I see $5,000 here. He is not as popular as he used to be.
I'm gonna have to pass.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been offered more?
We've had it valued at more than that.
Good luck with it. It's just in the current market, I don't see you get much more than that. If you do, more power to you.
Okay.
I tried.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you. I didn't accept the $5,000 offer because I think if I hang on to it, I can get some more, and I'm not that desperate to get money right now.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good. What do we got?
Well, I have 3 pieces of artwork here
Okay.
that I'd like to sell. They're all signed by Salvador Dalí. I'm coming to the pawn shop today to see what they would give me for my Salvador Dalí prints. I understand this business buys fine art. They have experts that can appraise it very well. They're valued at $15,000 a piece, and I'm hoping to get close to that price.
All right, so tell me about them.
So these are woodcut prints from the Divine Comedy series, which has over 47 prints. This is very interesting, very fascinating, because this is the series that when he would wake up from a dream, he would just draw it. And then he would make the wood engraving and then print them out.
And they're all artist proofs.
An artist proof is when they first print an etching or a lithograph. The artist looks at it, approves it, signs it, and they can continue the run. The thing about Salvador Dalí is the stuff he started doing in the 70s and the 80s was just hideous. It really was. I mean, it just became all about the money.
Sure.
In my shop, I've seen everything from Picassos, Renoirs. I sold some Andy Warhols a few weeks ago. When people see me, they think, that guy can't appraise art, but I can.
So what year are they from?
They are from 1967.
Okay. No, these are definitely the real deal.
If I want to buy Salvador Dalí's, I really want something from the 60s on back. Just the quality is better, the art is better, and there's more money in it.
So you got any provenance with these things?
I do, from the gallery as well as from the appraisers.
So they're all in great shape and everything. The question is, how much money you want for them?
Well, they are appraised between $12,500 and $15,000. I really didn't have a set price on them, but I certainly don't want to get hosed.
Okay. Yeah, that appraisal price is pretty high.
About $7,500 a piece.
Can you go $5,000 a piece on them?
You know, it's a tempting offer, but I can't do that. You know, I'm selling them because I don't have the space for them. I'm not selling them because I'm desperate to pay the mortgage or something. So how about $6,000? $6,000 a piece. I mean, they're in immaculate condition.
I mean, they are really nice. Can you go 55?
$6,000 is my number.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff, but I don't think we'd be able to make a deal.
Okay.
I'm disappointed we couldn't come to a price, but unfortunately, this is one of those situations where the item is great, but the price just isn't right.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. What do we got here?
So I have a Dalí cookbook that's actually been autographed.
Autographed by Salvador Dalí?
Yes, sir.
Okay, looks like his signature. I love everything about Salvador Dalí. You can see from like pictures like this, he enjoyed his food, he enjoyed his dinner parties, and he enjoyed his mustache.
I'm at the pawn shop today trying to sell my Salvador Dalí autographed cookbook. I found this cookbook in the attic when I moved into my new house. The recipes are extremely interesting. Not something that I would end up cooking myself, but I figured it would be a collector's item for someone who was a lot more into Salvador Dalí. I'm hoping to get $2,500 for this cookbook.
This is fascinating. Salvador Dalí, he was an incredible artist. He was right at the beginning of surrealism. He painted the persistence of memory, the melting clocks, in 1931. It's probably the most famous surrealist painting ever done. After World War II, right around 1948, 1950 is when he just sort of blew up. Everybody in the world started realizing who he was. He was in newspapers and magazines all over the world. Next thing you know, everybody wants his art, and he was very, very prolific. There's probably over 100,000 images that he painted or drew. And you would think that many out there would like lower the price, but he's so popular everywhere in the world that his prices actually have been going up for a long, long time. You could argue that he's the most famous painter of the 20th century, him and Picasso. I didn't know he had a cookbook, but I find this really, really cool. And I love the fact that it's signed by him. So let's see some pictures of Dalí food.
Seemed like some interesting recipes when I was flipping through.
Oasis leek pie. Definitely interesting. We have a leek pie with what looks to be a little palm tree coming out. Whoa, this one's a little creepy, even for Dalí. This is kind of fascinating. I really, really dig this. So, how much you want for it?
Given the condition and the autograph, I was thinking along the lines of $2,500.
I'm thinking more along the lines of $400. I saw on the copyright page, it said 1973.
Mm-hmm.
In 1973, he was massively famous. So it's not that rare, but you do have something signed by Dolly.
How about 500?
You know what? Since I've been cooking a lot lately, I give you the 500 because I'm going to use it. Okay? So I will meet you right over there. We'll do some paperwork, get you paid.
All right.
No melting clocks, just melting butter. Look what I just got.
Dolly?
Yes, and you might...
Dolly art book?
No, it's a cookbook.
Really?
It's got all these Dolly-inspired, surreal-looking dishes, and I've been really getting into cooking. So I've decided that I'm going to invite you guys over to the house. We're going to have a small dinner party, and I am going to prepare you some Dolly dishes.
Some Dolly dishes.
I've been working on my culinary arts here lately, and I think this is going to show you guys how well I'm cooking. What makes you think I want to be your test subject? It's not a test subject. I am going to make an amazing dinner for you guys. You're going to be wowed. So?
Well, you know me, Rick. I'm never one to turn down a free dinner.
Sure, I'll be there, Pops.
Okay, cool. I got to study.
Have you ever seen a bigger definition of old and bored?
What's up, Jake?
You guys look nice.
So do you, buddy. I'm glad you dressed up for the occasion.
Thanks for joining me for dinner, guys.
Thanks for having it. Wow. Looks delicious.
This is completely Dolly-esque, all from his cookbook.
Whoa.
Did I come close? Check out the book.
I mean, that looks really good, but what is that?
Oasis leek pie.
What's a leek?
Those are onions.
You had me come to your house to feed me onion pie.
And fish.
Rick, you must have known that whole grilled fish is my favorite.
Not grilled, they're baked.
Okay.
Are the eyeballs still in them?
Yes,
What?
that's part of the presentation.
Are the guts still in them?
As a matter of fact, according to the recipe, they're supposed to stay in there.
Well, I don't like that recipe.
It's edible art.
There's a burger place down the street that just opened up.
Yeah, sounds good to me. You wanna go get a burger, Big Hoss?
I'm down.
Let's get out of here.
Really? You guys aren't gonna eat this?
Well, Rick, you know what? You can't be good at everything you try, so it's never too late to give up. You wanna go get a burger with us, Rick?
No, I'm gonna eat.
Well, we're gonna go get a burger if you wanna come hang out.
Well, I think it's gonna taste amazing. Hopefully. Hold up, guys.